Hey everybody, this is Megan from Painting with Megan, and I'm coming on today to introduce myself. I am a local in the Listowel community who is offering free classes right now on my page called Painting with Megan. And today I am going to do a teddy bear picnic day. I know things are a little different this year, but it doesn't mean we can't have fun. So I just wanted to let you know what colors I'm using today before I get started. So I'm going to be using acrylic paint, so make sure you have clothes that you don't want to get messy. Make sure you're wearing clothes that are going to, like it's okay if they get messy. So I'm using white and black, red, blue, yellow, and brown. So that's white, black, red, brown, yellow, and blue paint. I have just an assortment of brushes. One's a little bigger, a little bit smaller, and then kind of even smaller. So anything you have is fine. Make sure you have a paper towel, some water, and somewhere you can lay your paint out on. So this is my paint palette here. So all this is dry. It's just some dried up paint from the past. And today I'm using an easel here to hold up my canvas. This is an 8x10. You're more than welcome to do any size you like. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to take some white and I'm going to put that out onto my palette. And what we're going to do with the white is we're going to cover our whole canvas with some white paint. So make sure you take that large brush. So I'm going to start with my large brush. I dipped it in water and then on my napkin and then into my white paint. So I have white here on my palette and I'm dipping into the white. So I'm going to go ahead and cover the whole thing. You can go up and down, or you can go back and forth. Just get some white paint on there. This will help later on for the paint to have somewhere to set into. So it makes for a nice finish and for blending later on with the sky that we're going to do. So I'm going to make a little teddy bear today that's holding an ice cream. It's been pretty hot out. And, that's always a fun time being at the park and getting an ice cream and sitting down and enjoying a nice family time. So I painted the whole canvas white. I'm going to go and get my blue paint out. I'll put blue on my palette here. And I'm not going to clean my brush. I'm still using that same brush, big one, and it's not clean. And I'm just dipping right into blue here. And I'm going to paint my background to about halfway or a little below half of blue. You can go back and forth with that. And it's okay if your paint is still wet. That's even better because as you'll see, you'll start to get like different effects in there, almost making clouds for you. So you can just go back and forth from one side of the canvas all the way to the other. And I can use a little bit of water time to time to help it move around if needed. Depends on your paint. Okay, and you can do your sides as well if you choose to. I like to paint my sides black when I'm all done. You can paint it any color, or you can paint it, or you don't have to paint it at all. There we go, so just back and forth, and that'll blend your sky nicely for you. I'm sure you guys are doing awesome. All right. So voila, there's my background painted with blue. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some yellow out on my palette. So I have yellow, and refresh your blue if you don't have any blue still. So I'm putting out more blue and I have yellow on my palette here. What we're going to do is we're going to mix these two colors together, the blue and yellow, to make some green. So I'm not going to clean my brush again because we don't need to. So I'm just going to mix it around and I'll get a green color here. If you want it to be a darker green, you would add a little more blue, maybe a tad of black. If you want it lighter green, you would just add a little more yellow or even a tad of white. But I'm just going to stick to this for today. And I'm going to go now from this part of the blue sky to the bottom. This will be the grass. So I'm going to go back and forth again. Just like so. Use a little water if you need to help you move the paint. Just don't use too much water or you will get a run. I find if you dip in water, you could always dab on your napkin a little bit so you don't end up getting the drips. There we go. Don't forget your sides if you're doing them. I'll just do mine later on. Alright, so after you've covered the background with the sky and the grass, now you can clean that big brush off. So I'm just swirling around in my cup, and then I'll dab it on my napkin, and that will clean it for me. There we go. So I'm going to go back to that white, putting out white on my palette. And I'll go with a medium-sized brush this time. Dip it in the water and then into your paint. And we're going to make some clouds. So if I'm going a little too fast for you, don't worry, because you can pause me or rewind me all you like. So I'll just stay at kind of a steady pace. So that way if someone's following through the whole time, or if you need to stop, that's a-okay too. Alright, I just want to make sure that I can get the video recorded. Alright, so I have white here. I'm going to make some little clouds in the sky. So I'm just going to start spinning around. So I'm going like this and spinning around my clouds on. And it's okay if my sky's still a little bit wet, because then I'll get some different colors in my clouds, just like you would see in real life. So you can pick anywhere you like where they go. You can have a little or many. Also depends on the size of your canvas, right? You might have a really big canvas. So there we go. So I just little swirls, just like so. And you can even tap the top of your clouds to get just different textures in there, different formations. So I'm just tapping with just white, and I still didn't clean my brush off this whole time, so you don't need to do that unless your brush is like getting really dirty. Then you can. There's nothing, if you like to clean it or not, that's okay. So that's my clouds there. So I kind of just tap the tops with some white. And I did dip into white and then dipped on top of the clouds every couple little bits. So that way the white stays fresh on my brush and doesn't blend too much. Okay. Now you can, if you would like, you can make a little circle up here, kind of maybe in between your clouds. And that can be a sun later on, but we'll definitely need to put another coat there. So I just added that blue circle kind of above and between those two clouds there. It might look like a moon right now, but we'll let that dry, and then we can put another coat of white on top, and then some yellow to make the sun. Alright, so we're going to let this dry. So you can go ahead and you can clean off that brush there. So we'll let that dry. And then what we're going to do next is you'll need white. We're going to outline where our teddy bear is. So I'll just use a small brush for this. So I'm just using this little bit smaller brush there. You're going to want yours to be dry. So I'll just give mine a couple minutes as well. You can tell it's drying when it's not shiny anymore as well. Or you can kind of lightly rub your finger on it. You don't want to do it too much though, because then you could end up losing your paint. Okay, so mine is fairly dry, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So to make this teddy bear, I'm going to have a circle here in the sky as the head. So there's my head. And then it's going to have some ears. So this can be a he or a she, whatever you like. So there's my teddy bear's ears. And for the body, this one is going to kind of go around like an oval. So I have like an oval shape, so it's almost like two sideways C's. So even if I hold it that way, you can see a different perspective. Okay, and then you can connect it at the bottom. So it almost has like a circle, oval head, an oval body. And then the ears are like little half circles even sitting on top. After that, you're going to have some feet. So the feet are going to be circles as well. Or should I say ovals? An oval is a little bit longer of a circle. And I'm going to make that shape go up a little bit into the teddy bear. So this one's going to have big feet. This is going to show us later on that the teddy bear is actually sitting on the ground. And I'll show you how to make that effect. So you can fill that in once you've outlined. Oops, sorry. And of course there's going to be little arms too that are going to go in to the body. So don't be too worried about actually doing those right now because we will put those on later. So for now, it'll be an armless teddy bear. And we'll put the arms in after. So you can just take your time and fill it in there. Hopefully, you guys can go out and have a little picnic of your own. You can have your teddy bear hanging up in your room. Just filling your head too. Hopefully you guys can see and hear me okay. This is my first time recording myself painting. I'm usually doing live events, so I do it as we go together. And I also have events on Zoom, which is an app where you can see each other too. So I could see you and you can see me, and then we paint on there as well. It's amazing what technology can do, eh? Alright, so I got my teddy bear filled in there. And that's just a rough coat. We put white first, so then we can put our color on top of that when it's dry. Okay, so that's my teddy bear. While we're waiting for the teddy bear to dry, and again, please pause me if I'm going too fast. All right, clean off that little brush, and while we're waiting for it to dry, if you still have green on your palette, you can get that and put it on your brush. So I still have some green hanging out here. If you don't, that was just blue and yellow. And I'm gonna make some grass. I'm gonna add just a tad of yellow to mine just to make it a little bit brighter so you guys can see. Okay, and I'll just mix it in with my green there. So let's make a light green. And to make grass, it's just little flicks. So I'm going to start on the grass and just pull it up. And the smaller brush is the better to use, because that'll be easier for you to have more control. You can go across, you can even go below the grass line there. So how we have this skyline, you don't have to go above it, you can go below it too. It's like looking like a nice day in this park. All right, so I cleaned off that medium brush here. I'm going to go back to that one and then dip back into white, and I'm just going to give my sun here another coat of white, so then I can add yellow to that next. Sometimes blue takes a while to cover up, so I just put another coat here on the sun of just white, and you can use any brush for that. All right, I'll clean that one off. I'll clean off my baby brush too. And I'm going to put out some red on my palette. I'm going to get out that small brush still, and I'll dip into red. And I'm just going to put a couple little dots in my grass on different spots. So it's almost like flowers. So you can put them on top of the grass or even closer to the bottom. And I'm just kind of putting them in random places, because then you can see it makes little flowers. So it can be on top, or it can be, you know, closer to the ground. That's okay too. And you can use any colors you like, of course, throughout this painting. If you want to add more to it. I'm just going to take a little bit of that yellow and mix it with red to make some orange. So yellow and red makes orange. And I'm just going to give a little tap of that color in my flowers too, just to give it some different colors in there. You can add more if you like. You could add pink, you could add purple. To make pink, you use red and white. To make purple, you would use blue and red. Okay, so I don't know how your teddy bear is doing. Mine's almost about dry. So feel free to customize this painting as you go. You can totally add different stuff to it. So I'm going to get out my good old brown here. And I'm going to get my medium brush back out again. I'm going to dip into brown, and I'm going to put brown on my teddy bear. Okay. So I'll start at the feet, and I'll fill it in now, going on top of the white with brown. Now this is an opportunity for you to pick the color of your teddy bear. So if you don't want a brown teddy bear, you could make a different teddy bear. So I made sure that there was the circles there, and then I painted around those circles. So I'm just kind of following the shapes that we had. So even if I just outline them here for you guys to see, so that way you know where to paint. So there's the ears. Okay, so that's kind of the outline. If you ended up losing your feet, you could always put the circle up a little higher, just like that, and that'll bring your feet back up. And of course, you can fill it in. I'm just going up and down, and then when I get to that head, maybe I'll spin it around in a circle. I always just kind of color it in following the shapes that I have. So you could go up and down too. There's no right or wrong way to fill in your teddy bear. I'm actually going to leave these two spots in the ears, and we'll put a different color there. So there's my teddy bear body filled in. And remember, you can pick any color you like. You might need a second coat of the color you're choosing, and you might not. It just depends on your preference. You know, if it's going see-through, you might need another coat. So you'll know once it's drying. I'll see how mine goes. So I'm just cleaning off that brush now. And I'm gonna go make sure it's cleaned off by tapping on my napkin and make sure that all that brown's out. Because now I'm gonna dip into yellow with that medium brush, and I'm gonna color in my sun. Let's make the sun come out. And if you want it to be a moon, then you can keep it white. You could even put stars. You know, sometimes the skies do get a little blue before they get black as the evening comes. So it's up to you. So there we go. There's my sun. It's looking to be a good day outside for a picnic. And a good day to grab ice cream. So the ice cream, you can totally pick what other colors you would like. Oh my gosh. You can choose any colors you like. I'm just gonna go back to my green grass and kind of just touch it up a bit. You might need to as well, just depends on how it looks. So maybe I'll put a little bit of that lighter green below this grass line to make that lighter green. I still had some on my palette, but that was just blue and yellow, but I use a little bit more yellow than I do the green or the blue to make it a light green. And I'm just, you can probably hear that, I'm just scrubbing it on just everywhere just to give it different colors in the grass. So it's the brush is very dry because I'm just spreading out that little bit of paint there into the grass. That way there's some different colors in there. You can clean that brush off again. Now I'm going to make pink. So I already have red and white on my palette, and I'll still use that medium brush, so just make sure it's clean. So I'm getting red and white, and I'm going to stir it around. And now I have pink. If you want it to be light pink, you would just add a little more white. And if you want it to be like more of like a hot pink, then you would just add a little more red to it. But I'm just going to keep mine in the middle. So it's just a little bit of red and a little bit of white. And I'm going to put that right in where those teddy bear ears are. So I'm putting pink right up in here. Just like that. So just take your time. You might actually want the smaller brush for this. So actually I'll go ahead and use that too. Sorry about that, everyone. I figured this will be easier for us to control. So I'm just getting out that small brush now with the pink on it. Okay, so I'm going to go work on the feet. So make sure that this is dry before you do this. If it's not, just pause me and come back when you're ready. Mine is dry, so I'll go ahead and show you the feet. So the feet we're going to make like little paw prints on. So they're going to have 3 circles. So I'll try to come closer for you to see it. So 1 circle, 2 circle, 3 circles, and then I'm going to put a big one underneath to make a paw print. And now it shows you this teddy bear is sitting on the grass, enjoying the nice sunny day in the park, or whatever your park's doing. So to show you that again, on the other foot, it's just a little circle. You can even do a little dot, you know, if you want to just do a dot. You can do that too. And just make the circle underneath the 3 baby circles just a little bit bigger. Just like so. Look at that. All right. I'm going to clean off my little brush and I'll put out just a little bit of black on my palette. So you don't need a lot, so I don't want you to end up wasting it. So I just put like a little tiny dab on my palette here. You might not even be able to see it, but it's just a little bit there. Clean off that pink. We'll use the small brush still. And we'll start to make the teddy bear's face. So I'm going to have a little nose here. So that's just a circle. So I have a little nose here. So it's kind of going to point down a little bit. So it's kind of like an upside down triangle, but it's a more rounded than a triangle. So you're not going to have a sharp edge triangle. You just want a little bit of black there. So make sure your teddy bear is dry to do this part. There we go. So I got my little nose. And underneath is going to be a straight line. And then it's going to be a little smile. So they're just like, it's almost like two backward J's. Just a little smile there. And then we're going to want eyes. So we're going to make little ovals. And they can be touching the nose. So kind of at the edge of the nose. You can do two eyes. We'll just fill them in black and we'll put a white dot in there later. There we go. There's the face. So the eyes can be above the nose or they can be touching the nose. That's fine too. However it works for you. Make sure you clean that brush off good from the black because we're going to go to white now. So you don't want to end up mixing it. Make sure yours is dry first, but I'll just show you. So just pause for now and I'll just do a little dot. So that way the teddy bear is, oh, he's awake. Actually, I'm going to call mine a she. Alright. So there's my teddy bear's face. And now I'm going to make the ice cream. Love ice cream. Alright, so we're going to need a cone. So I'm going to make the teddy bear kind of holding the ice cream in its lap. So I will do a triangle. I'll bring it closer again. So I'll do a triangle from the very bottom in between the feet. I'll do an upside down triangle. So this tip of the triangle will be here. So that's the cone. So we're making the cone right now. So this teddy bear is going to hold a pretty big ice cream. And it's just an upside down triangle. So as you can see, like that. And then I'll just round it off so you can see it's a triangle. And now your ice cream can have as many scoops as you want it to. So, you know, maybe it's a 1 scoop or a 2 scoop or a 3 scoop. It really depends on your space and what you would like to do. So we'll just make it in white. And then we can fill in colors after. So I'm just doing, they're almost like clouds. Right? To make ice cream. So it's almost like, you can make a circle, or you could do little dips or bends, like a cloud. I'll just put a little one on top of that one. So it looks like my teddy bear is going to be holding a 1 scoop ice cream cone. So once you have your ice cream, you can fill it all in with that white. And you'll want that brown to be dry, so make sure if it's not, you just pause. You can wave your canvas around. That helps dry it. You can also use a hair dryer, but you need to ask an adult for permission to do that. So make sure you have somebody around that can help you. So you don't want to end up hurting yourself or burning your picture. Okay, so right now it's an ice cream. We've outlined the shape. of that with the white. So now this is the chance when you can choose, you know, what you want your ice cream to look like and what color you want. So you can make like a rainbow ice cream, you could make sprinkles, you know, you can decorate it however you like and you can have fun with that. So you can pick a color for your ice cream. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to see what color I haven't really done on here, and then I'll make that. So I have pink, I have red. I think I could use some more orange on this. So I'm going to make an orange ice cream cone. And you don't have to, so you can make whatever color you like. Ooh, actually I think I'll make a purple ice cream cone. So I'm going to mix red and blue to make purple. And I'll use my small brush still, just so I have control. A little bit of red, a little bit of blue. And I'll mix it around. So it's mostly red, more red than blue to make purple. Because you don't, the blue is very powerful. So I have some purple there with, you know, let's say a big scoop of red and a little dab of blue. Mix it around and then see, do I need to add blue to make it more purple? You can also add a tad of white to it and that'll brighten up your purple, which I just did so that way you can see it. So I added a little bit of white to that purple. And if you have purple, you can just use that. You know, and if your color doesn't show up, then you might have to pick a different color. My purple's kind of not really showing up. You can see I have an ice cream there, but it's not really showing up. And that's okay. So I'll just pick a different color for that once it dries. This is just a little tutorial so you have a craft to do. So I really appreciate the opportunity for this and to provide this for everybody and their families. I'm going to use yellow and make my cone yellow. So that way it's bright there so I know there's a cone. So I got my yellow cone. So I put yellow there. You can mix yellow and a little bit of brown and that'll darken it up a bit if you don't want it to be bright. But the brown underneath already kind of mixed with it, so it worked out well. Okay, so while I'm waiting anyways, to change the color of my cone, you